once you get used to building based on system, you're gonna love it because our input is the same, but the output keeps growing and it keeps multiplying. Does that make sense to you? So let's talk about the system. What is the system? What is the system in RIMAN? It's very simple. The basic simple system is this. It's presentation, okay? What is presentation? You guys know what presentation is? Presentation is inviting someone to learn about RIMAN. I did the first one 2 days ago when we opened up the office. We did the very first one at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. You've probably seen us do it on Zoom. Yesterday, Tim, her, and Chris Kim shared 2 parts and they did it. It's the same PowerPoint. We use that PowerPoint in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Mexico, in the United States, in Korea. It's a very simple presentation. Tells the new prospect who RIMAN is, what our products are, and what the opportunity is available for them. That's basically what presentation is. Does that make sense? So here's the good news. You don't have to make your own PowerPoint. Some people, I watch them, they say, I'm working so hard in RIMAN, and I watch what they do. They're spending all that time making PowerPoint. You don't have to make PowerPoint. The company already has one. Just use it. Can you imagine you sign up 10 people in the team and they all get busy spending 10 hours a week making PowerPoint? That's a waste of time. The 10 hours you should have people try product, not make PowerPoint. Does that make sense? So we have a presentation. You invite them to a presentation. So you take somebody that doesn't know anything about RIMAN. They're confused, okay? They don't know anything about RIMAN. And you take them, you put them through a presentation. After presentation, now they understand RIMAN, they like RIMAN, but they still have questions. Why? Because they know what it is, but they don't know how to do it. They like it. Okay, number 1 K beauty, I like it. Expansion, direct sales, commission, I like it, but what do I do? They don't know which direction to go. Does that make sense? So what orientation does next? What orientation does is what you saw yesterday. How many of you saw orientation yesterday? How many of you were here? Okay. So you saw orientation. In orientation, we give you step 1, my business plan. Step 2, senior manager game plan. Step 3, team leader game plan. Step 4, my commitment to my plans. And teaching them to set up 2 Kpopups and plug into next trainings and events. That's it. So this pretty much is our orientation. And through this, at the end, our call to action is encouraging them to go create their stories. Create 2 types of stories. Their product story and their business story. Their product testimony and their business story. And that's what we all do. So we teach them what to learn and what to do first. Why is it important to show them senior manager game plan and team leader game plan first day when they get trained? Why is it important? Because senior manager, you count 3 months volume. So if they order anything, you don't want to waste, right? You don't want them to feel like month 5, oh man, I had 1,000 SP first month. Why didn't you tell me? If you told me, I would have made sure I did it in 3 months. You don't want to hear that from your people, right? So you want to let them know from the beginning that, hey, you get to count up to 3 months, but I recommend we do it faster. You want to tell them about team leader from the beginning. Some people are like, well, I want to, I don't want to scare them. So I tell them after they're senior manager. That's a mistake because you get to count 5 months volume. So my first day, if I order 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 6,000, you want that to count towards their team leader. You don't want them to miss out on any points. That only way you could do it is if you tell them from the beginning. Does that make sense to you? So that's why you want to tell them senior manager, team leader game plan. And after that, my commitment to my plans, set up Kpopups, start inviting, and we go out there and work on creating these 2 stories. Does that make sense? That's orientation. That's the next part. So they go from not knowing confused, they understand that but still confused. Now they could happy, and they're not confused, they're ready to run and take action. Well, most of them are ladies, so let's give them a nice long hair, nice eyelashes, and ICD makeup, okay? All right, so that's what orientation does, okay? Now, after orientation, the next part of the system is Kpopup. Kpopup is the way that we get to truly benefit from the power of our product. When people try our product for 30 minutes, they feel different. They love the feeling of how their skin feels after using our product for the first time. So you gotta use the product to do the work for you. Product does the work for you when you do Kpopups. So Kpopups after that, now their confidence. Anytime someone does a Kpopup, their confidence goes up so high because now they get to get great feedback from their friends and their family that actually try the product. Now everything they heard here, it becomes real for them. It's not just a story anymore. It becomes real for them, so their confidence goes up. So this is our system. It's the presentation, taking someone from a presentation to orientation to Kpopup, and from there, you just repeat the process. People that went through it, you just help them to set up presentations, help them to go through orientation. Usually orientation, we only do it once a week. So at this office, we'll have once a week orientation schedule. Everybody that sign up throughout the week, through presentations and Kpopups, everybody that sign up, we encourage them to come to that orientation training. That way they could learn what to do for them to duplicate the process after. Does that make sense to you? If you could have this system started in your team, utilizing the office, now size of your success and speed of your success is only determined by size of how many people in your team are attending presentation and orientation and Kpopup, and the speed of how often you have presentation and orientation and Kpopup. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, or does that not make sense? Some of you looking at me like I'm a mind reader. I cannot read your mind. I said, does that make sense? And you look at me like this. Like I cannot go in there. You gotta tell me, does this make sense?
Yes.
It's simple. You don't have to complicate it. It's very simple. More size, more presentation with more people. More orientation with more people. More Kpopup with more people. Speed, more often, is going to determine the size of your success and the speed of your success in RIMAN. So this is the basic system of what we do, okay? And making sure that in this basic system, what drives, you guys know drive? What drives people, what drives this to happen bigger and faster? Here is the key. These are the two key factors right here. I said it yesterday in the orientation. Many of you probably caught it. I will teach you now so you could also say it. The keyword that you want to use is you want to sprint to senior manager. And you want to run to team leader. That's the key. That's what drives this thing to happen. You want to sprint to senior manager and you want to run to team leader. Why? You know why. 30% lifetime, you only have to do it one time. Senior manager, we said it yesterday. We want them to, you just got to do it once. Same product, same retail price. Do you want 10% or do you want 30%? Well, let's do it one time fast, so everything you do after, you get 30%. It makes sense why people should be a senior manager. So you want to encourage people to become. Now, here's the truth, right? The easiest way for them to do it is, of course, purchase 4 starter kits if they're planning to do the business in a big way. Now, the reality is, not everybody is in a good financial condition to do that, right? So maybe 20%, maybe 30%, maybe 10%, depends on the group that you're working with, feels comfortable about doing it this way. And maybe the other 70% or maybe 90%, depends on the group that you're working in, they don't either feel comfortable or they're not in financial condition where they could do this. Does that make sense? Now, does that mean that that's bad? No. This is good and this is also good. It's not this is good and this is bad. Does that make sense? If someone starts with 1,000 SP or 1,500 SP and it takes them a little bit of time and effort to become senior manager, it's still good. How many of you want to capture 100% instead of only 10% or 70%? Of course. You're doing the activity anyways. You're showing the product anyways. You're showing the opportunity anyways. You want 100% of the people you share the business to be able to participate here, not just 10%, not just 20%. You want 100% to participate, small or large, it doesn't matter. Because people change their mind all the time. Maybe they start with 1,000 SP kit. Maybe they start with only one kit. But maybe they come to orientation. Maybe they go to 2 more Kpopups and they're like, you know, I see it. I see people loving this. I see people really will do this. I see how fast products do sell. Maybe I need to become senior manager right away. It doesn't matter if, of course, it's smarter if they make decision first day. But it doesn't matter if they make the decision a week later, a month later, 2 months later, it's all okay. How many of you guys agree with that, right? You guys all agree with that. So you want to start the process of enrolling them into a system, not on one event of they do it or they don't do it, or they didn't buy it, so maybe they're not worth my time. You shouldn't think that way because some people have a slow start, you know, and it's okay. When I first got introduced to direct sales, I was the worst one I have ever. I've been doing this a long time, and I haven't found one as bad as me. I mean, it's unbelievable how bad I was. I lived in America for 4 years at the time. I barely spoke English. So when I first went to a meeting, I really understood like 10%. And I was young, so I didn't have any money. You know, so I got started, but next day I brought a friend. She joined. Next day she quit because her mom said she couldn't do it. And it took me 9 months to get my second person. 9 months. I was the worst. I went to every meeting, I went to every training, and it took me 9 months to get my second person. It took me 10 months to get my first commission for $58 US. After 10 months, I was the worst. But after I got it, after 1 year, after I got it, I really got it. So it's okay. Like, how many of you think it's okay that it took me 10 months to get my first commission? It's okay. Because 4 years later, I was able to retire my parents. It's okay. So it's okay, okay? It's okay at whatever speed people start at. Welcome everybody, because let them be part of the system, because one day, boom, they may just wake up. And that's what happened for me. After 10 months, I had first wake up moment. About a year into it, I had my second wake up moment, and having those aha moments during the journey is how my whole career was built and my life was changed. So take everybody. It doesn't matter what decision it is. Help them. Of course, help them to make the best decision, but if they're not ready, let them get started and get them plugged into the system. So eventually, you got 2 ways to do it. My mentor always said, in business, you could either buy and sell, or you could sell and buy. It doesn't matter if they're signing up customers to do it, signing up people to do it, or they're buying to do it. Either one is okay. There's no right or wrong. Of course, faster one is you talking to yourself if you're able to do it, but it's okay if they recruit a couple people to become senior manager or got a few customers to buy products to become senior manager. Does that make sense to you? Either way, what is important is you want everybody to sprint 1 to 7 days after they make the decision of wanting to be senior manager, they should be a senior manager. making a decision and sprint there 1 to 7 days. Does that make sense? Now, what if they don't do it in 7 days? Should you say, you're a loser, you should quit, this is not for you? No. Let's remake the decision and let's run again next 1 to 7 days at a time. Does that make sense? It's keep encouraging people to make the decision and take a 7-day run. 1 to 7 days. And if they do it first time, second time, third time, doesn't matter. Key is to help people to become senior manager. And everybody should run to become a team leader. Yeah, maybe they don't do it in 5 months, and maybe they don't get to count the first month volume. It's okay, who cares? Count 2 to 6, count 3 to 7, count 4 to 8, count 10 to 15. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and they could do it later. But doesn't mean you shoot for later. Everybody should shoot to do it now. Does that make sense? It's like, think about how silly that would be. If someone says, I need to lose some weight. I need to lose 3 kilos. I need to lose 3 kilos by 2030. Like, you know what I'm gonna do? Go eat ice cream right now. Because for me to lose 3 kilos by 2030, what actions do I have to take today? Nothing. I don't have to do anything until 2030. I can make a decision January of 2030 and lose 3 kilos by March of 2030. So you want them to set goals and make decisions that gets them to move now. If I said I need to lose 3 kilos by July of 2025, I need to start watching what I eat now. I need to start working out now. And that's what you want them to do. And that's why you want them to run to be team leader. They don't have to be team leader in 5 months, but you want them to run to become a team leader now, not later. Because if they do it later, that means they do nothing now. Does that make sense to you? Make sense? Yes?
Yes.
I can't read your mind, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. That's much better. Now I know what you're thinking. All right? So key is sprint to senior manager, run to team leader. Through this, what are you really trying to create? I'm gonna show you next, okay? Can I erase this? You guys all understand, right?
Yes.
You love my drawing, right? It makes sense. Like, wow, Danny, you are an artist. That's probably what you're thinking. I know, I picked the wrong career. I could have become the next Bay Picasso or Bay Picasso. Okay, just kidding, all right? So, when I looked at RIMAN, and many leaders that I engaged in recruiting, here's one thing in common. Here's one thing in common about big leaders that look at RIMAN that's different than someone doesn't have experience looking at RIMAN. Okay, someone like Tim or someone like Chris, someone like Steve, and many other friends that have joined recently. When we look at a business plan, we don't look at planner first and manager and senior manager. What we like to know is what is the top rank, what does it take to get to top rank. So I want you guys to kind of look. This is a leadership training, okay? So I want to teach you how to look at the compensation plan